welcome back to the only podcast that has separated their audience into two groups, pro candy corn and pro Cadbury eggs. I'm Travis here with Jen. How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there doing the things. It was been a very interesting last couple of days. So the people that are listening to this after Thanksgiving. I hope you ate well.
Oh, yeah.
I, on the other hand, because I'm having to lose weight and stuff, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to do low carb. I'm going to eat a lot of turkey, I think, but I can't have like the stuffing and stuff. What a terrible situation.
Just think next year, all thin and trim, just stuffing.
Oh my gosh. Stuffing is the thing I'm going to miss the most. I hope all of y'all enjoyed the Thanksgiving that those who celebrate. But for everyone else, welcome back to the podcast, because we're here to help you grow your YouTube channels. We've done a whole bunch of content over the last couple of weeks, and we hope that you've enjoyed that. We got a lot of messages to get through. I don't know that we're going to be able to answer every single one. We're going to give it a shot. But holiday season is upon us, so we're going to try to squeeze these in as much as we can. First message will come from the text messages. If you're listening to the audio podcast, there's a link there that allows you to send a text message. And this first one says, "Hi, Jen, Travis, and the vidIQ crew. I'm a long-time listener, first-time question asker. I have a channel with 2,400 subscribers where I talk about movies. I don't do reviews because I think that space is oversaturated. Instead, I do more video essay-focused videos meant for entertainment. I got a majority of my subscribers from a video that blew up 2 years ago and got 300,000 views. I've not been able to recreate that success. In every video I post, I gain a maximum of 10 subscribers from it. Most of my videos now average about 300 views. But what's interesting is that several people leave very nice and positive comments. One comment even called me the best film channel on YouTube. Every video I do, I get positive feedback, but I never grow. My latest video got 100 views in the first 12 hours and completely flatlined. I'm wondering if you have any advice for my situation, or just channels who don't make tutorials and educational content instead of make more entertainment-based videos that lie somewhere between commentary and video essay. Thank you so much." And the only edible form of candy corn is when it's pumpkin-shaped.
Oh,
I'm not aware of this.
Strong opinion there at the end.
I know. I'm not aware of that. Okay. So, and again, we're a couple weeks behind. I can't remember when this was actually sent. So if you're hearing older messages, because we're just getting to them. So, entertainment-based content. They're doing movie, not reviews, but like, I don't exactly know what they mean by that, although we have other movie channels that listen to the podcast. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on, so they had a video that 300,000 views, got a lot of subscribers from that, but they've been kind of flatlining since then. What are your thoughts on that?
I think this is pretty typical for a channel. I think this happens a lot. I wouldn't say this is a one-off situation or even close to it. There's probably something about that video that they can't recognize that did well. Or it's like an entirely different video. Maybe that video was a review and now they're not doing reviews. So they would just be fighting against that video their entire existence on YouTube. So it's hard to say without obviously seeing the channel, which we don't do here. But there's something different about that video that was, not maybe recreated just yet.
And it could also be timely if it was about a movie or something that was super popular at the time. There's a lot of different reasons for that. So I think what you want to look at is your more popular videos over the last 90 days. You can go into your analytics and you can sort, you do 90 days at the top right-hand corner. Look at your most popular videos of the last 90 days. And try to pick apart like what made those videos more successful than others. You can look at your retention graph. That would be helpful. You can look at the comments and see what people liked about them. It was like you said, you had that one comment that said you're the best film channel, which is amazing. That's great to hear. But I think I think Sean Cannell says, success leaves clues. So you can look through some of your other videos that have done well over the last couple of months and see if it's an editing style, a particular subject or topic maybe you've been talking about. If you group them together, you might notice that maybe a specific type of movie or a specific type of thing you did in your content worked better than others. And it's possible that might be your clue to additional success. It's a really good question.
Yeah, I think that if you've been consistently putting out content for 2 years and it's not getting traction, it's probably time to try something new. Not discontinue making that content by any means, but you have to, in addition, try something else. You just can't keep doing something that's not working and expect on year 3 that it's finally going to blow up. Those can blow up as a response to a new style video blowing up, but it doesn't sound like it's doing the job. And I don't know if it will.
Yeah, I agree. You just have to, again, you have to kind of be a little more analytical. And the other thing you can do is if you have Booster above, which by the way, there's like a Black Friday sale going on, or there was right before the episode dropped. You can join the Discord that a whole bunch of people are talking in the Discord, and have our own little channel where they're doing AI thumbnails of Cadbury eggs versus candy corn. It's the funniest thing I've seen. So make sure you check that out and ask your questions in there too. People in there all the time, they can give you some feedback. Okay, here's another one. This one's from the email. The email is at theboost@vidIQ.com. I should probably mention, the deeper we get into the holidays, the further back in emails we're going to be, which basically means, again, like I said over the last couple of weeks, we won't be able to answer every email, but we will read them all because we love them all. We won't necessarily be able to read them all on podcast, but we will read them all. Okay, this question is, do live streams hurt my channel? Which we actually just did a video about. Yo, what up, vidI crew? Thank you so much for helping us new YouTubers. My name is Tokes, and I do football videos on YouTube, such as football challenges and recreations of sick goals. No, I'm not talking about American football, but the original football.
Oh,
I do. I know, sick burn, sick burn. I often do live streams such as watch-alongs on the biggest matches or playing FC25. But FC25 is not a game you want to play every time. No one's mental health can survive that. This is so funny. There's a person that works here called Alexi who played the FC series and said this exact thing. That it's very mentally taxing and kind of toxic in a way. Okay. So I was wondering if games like Rocket League and Fortnite could hurt my channel if I do live streaming on it. In case you don't know, Rocket League, yeah, I know Rocket League and Fortnite, have very little to do with football. Thank you for the fantastic podcast. I found it by searching YouTube podcasts on Google, and you guys were listed. I've listened for a year now, and I'm writing from Denmark. Shout out to my Danes. By the way, I'm speaking English on my channel, if that makes any sense. I never tasted candy corn, so I have nothing to say. Peace out, y'all.
I have nothing to say. No comment.
No comment. This is, okay, so what's interesting about this is this creator is saying, I'm not creating off-topic regular content on my channel. I want to live stream off-topic content on my channel. I think the same things still apply here. The same rules of like, well, if you're going to do off-topic stuff, you should expect off-normal views, which might not
I like
be
where you were going
like,
with that.
Right? I'm trying to figure out the right wording here. What would you say if one of your creators came to you and said this, Jen? This is your creator. They're saying this. Jen says what?
I would say that it sounds like a fun YouTube channel, and that's the goal. And
like
there
that.
are no rules. If you want to stream Fortnite, I mean, gosh, you want to add on some Nintendo on top of that, it doesn't
Let's
matter what
go.
you do.
Let's go.
But the goal is not going to be consistent views and steady growth. It's going to be, you having fun, and people will catch on to different videos when they catch on, but time is not going to be in your favor. But that doesn't mean like that has to be the goal. Like, you can definitely just have fun with your YouTube channel and stream what you want and edit what you want. But there's kind of like a fork in the road for those creators, and the direction you go in is definitely different.
Yeah, and if you're bringing a different viewership to your live streams than what, so let's say for example your live streams just take off for whatever reason,
right?
That means your long form content won't necessarily take off with it, especially since they're different audiences. So as long as you're aware of that, that's not that
what
bad.
I mean. Yeah, it's not bad. I think that it's easy to take YouTube channels too seriously sometimes, and following all of the rules, doing all the right things can a lot of the time take some of the fun out. And if you just want to like stream a couple extra games, just know you're not going to probably have consistent views. Like, that's all.
Very true. We have a lot of emails, and I can see like part of the subject line because in Gmail, like, it shows a little bit. It's so funny. Some of these are really funny. Okay, here we go. This is from Jackie, and the subject is, an ex-princess needs your help to find her voice on YouTube.
Oh.
I love this. Hey, Jen and Travis, and people who are not Jen and Travis, but still still QTs. Help, I'm a new YouTuber struggling to find my voice. I've only started to get serious in the last 4 months, and I'm still developing phase of having my 34 videos published. I'm in the theme park niche, which I know is heavily saturated, but it's what I know and love. Okay, before I continue to read this, that is so critical. To be doing content about something that you love, I love that. Okay, here she goes. I was a princess at the Rat House for 16 years in California. Florida, and Japan. What is the rat house? Oh,
I don't know what that is, actually.
no.
I was going to say, we have an ex-Disney princess who works here as
do?
well.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Yes. So that's what she means. At the rat house being Mickey. So that's what she's called, the rat house.
Oh,
okay. That's what she's saying. She's calling Mickey a rat. How dare you, young lady? How dare you? For 16, but she was in California, Florida, and Japan. That's amazing.
Japan sounds sick.
I want to go to Japan so bad. But now hitting my late 40s, I would like to try to bring that angle to my stories, but I'm having a hard time finding the voice. When I tell stories in person, I see eyes glaze over. So I have imposter syndrome of who would be interested. Should I lean into the glittery pink girly side and sprinkle in some more personal stories that might be annoying for a wider audience, or should I stick to the full review that would appeal to the mass majority? Also, I have a bright pink camera that gets noticed at parks. Should I start making thumbnails with photos as a way to brand myself? I love that, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, that's
from a
so
Lost
cute.
Princess. P.S. I recently found my YouTube studio page at the bottom left under settings. There's a place to put keywords for your channel. Is that important? No, it is not important. Don't waste your time with that. But this is a really interesting video idea. An ex-Disney princess. So first of all, there are big theme park channels on YouTube that do like ride tours and all the other things, right? So there is an audience for this. And the fact that you used to work there in three completely different things is amazing. So I would lean into that somewhat, but what are your thoughts of like the best way to lean into that?
I would stick with, I don't know who this person kind of sounds like they are. The pink camera, like it sounds like a very girly component, the princess. I don't know, all the little things in that where I'm like, I feel like she has a very defined personality. Maybe storytelling is her weakness, but that can be worked on. Also, like telling a story in real life versus being able to edit a story are very different. So maybe you're not ready for your first live stream yet, but that doesn't mean you can't cut out the boring parts in post. I would lean into being different. You have insider information that you can cater for a really specific group of people. You don't need a generalized guide. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You have the information and make it better.
I would like to know like some of the things that people don't know about having been a princess. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting. That you have, like you said, you have a huge kind of behind the scenes look at what it's like to be that. And I don't know how much you want to go into it, but I mean, it is interesting. It is something that no one else, very few people have that angle. While
gives you credibility that other people don't have.
It does. It really does. And I think that's the voice. You speaking through that. You don't have to. Now, here's the thing. The one thing I do want to mention is it could be that you do a couple like that and it takes off really big and then that becomes your channel. If you don't want to do that, then just take what we're saying with a grain of salt. But it is unique enough that you'll be one of the few places on YouTube where you can get that perspective. It's not just former Disney employee. It's like former princess. Like there's not that many channels like that. So that's the unique, I think, value prop you could have. And the voice could be, as someone who's seen the behind the scenes, like what really happens when the park closes down. I would watch that. What really happens when, a famous person blocks off a section? I'm sure you've had those. You have to have had those stories, right? I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd watch it.
That is true. Yeah, there is a lot of, in different countries too.
All right. Oh my gosh. This next.
Oh boy.
I read the first sentence and I'm like, I'm done. I love our creators. They're the best. This one's from Chris. 2 questions. First is mainly for Travis, but Jen can weigh in.
Thank you.
Let's say, I know. Thanks. It's just my podcast.
I won't
Thanks. Now. You might, because here it is. You might actually immediately weigh in, because here's the rest of that sentence. Let's say you have a vidIQ coach, but you find out that they hate shorts, and even worse, they hate Cadbury eggs. Is there any hope? Could this be someone that might know you, Jen? I don't know.
We do have a coach switch option.
Oh my
I
gosh.
would love for support to get this ticket. Why do you switch coaches?
I like to switch coaches. She doesn't like Cadbury eggs. Okay. Secondly, and more seriously, the Tyson fight got me thinking. There was a time when people all over the world were joined together and experiencing issues with Netflix just not working, which is true. That actually happened. Tyson was trending. Netflix was trending. I have a whiskey channel, and it occurred to me after it'd be a perfect time to grab a bottle, pour myself a drink, and post a short about waiting for the fight to start. Maybe something about not knowing Netflix was blurry or my whiskey was too strong. This is a good idea. Is there best practices around this? So in other words, you want to make a video about being drunk and not sure if your Netflix is blurry or if your eyesight's blurry. I love that already. Count me in. But the main question is around posting around big events. This is huge, and at times can blow channels up. I'll give you a quick example. There was this channel that was in our vidIQ live streams a lot. He did animation. And a small channel, just really, had a good sense of humor, did some really cool stuff, but just was really growing slow. KSI had a, I can't remember, KSI is an influencer on YouTube who also is a singer and other things now. Big YouTuber. I can't remember if it was a fight or something like that, something almost similar to the Tyson Jake Paul thing, but not that big. And he did a video. He made a quick animation like within an hour of that stream ending, and his channel blew up. It was a unique take on something that had just happened, so it was fresh. People were still searching for it on YouTube, wanted to watch the stream and stuff. And it was funny and it was interesting, and YouTube immediately found more viewership for that. So the quick answer is, if you can do that, great. But the longer answer is, and this goes back to what we literally just said, and my main concern over all of this is when you do that, your channel then can become that thing and that thing only, and that's what happened to him. None of the other topics that he did on his channel went anywhere. It was only when he talked about KSI, which he was okay with because he liked KSI. But if you're not that person, that can be a problem. So when
Am I allowed to weigh in? Should I have an opinion?
You should have an opinion. This is probably one of your creators. I mean,
First of all, I'm so mad, Chris, that you didn't tell me this idea. I know exactly who this creator is, and they are, in fact, very, very funny, and they would have no issue monetizing off of their humor in short-form content like that because it is evident in their long-form content. And while the channel is not, shorts humor like that, I don't think any necessarily long form content can be exactly shorts humor if you lean into a very specific moment like that. I do think there could be a natural conversion for that just because the humor is the same. If you just had one funny moment and then like Travis was saying, your long form content people click in and it's super dry and it's I'm going to taste 5 whiskeys today with a straight face. They're going to be like, what? No, click off. So having them feel similar is definitely the important thing there. But I think those moments are exactly why shorts exist. And that would have been such a great opportunity. And I don't think you should doubt yourself when it comes down to something like this. A short or video in general is never going to break your channel. So if that sounded even remotely like a good idea, throw it out there. What is the worst case situation? Doesn't get a lot of views? Who cares? It's just one more piece of content. You're going to have plenty of pieces of content that, don't get the views you hope they do. But it could get a lot of views and you could convert some people. So I wouldn't wait or hesitate on an opportunity that you as a creator think is funny, think is inspiring. You got to go for those for everybody.
I agree. Totally agree. Swing for the fences.
Yep.
It sounds like this person already has a good kind of grasp of the fact that this was an idea, a good idea. Probably should have done it. But if they already are in that mindset, I think they should probably follow their instincts on stuff like this. It was really good.
They probably have more ideas like this that happen that they don't consider putting into an execution phase. And I think this is a hard thing for a lot of small creators because you're not confident enough as a creator that it kind of feels oh, that's a good idea, but I don't know.
Right. No,
and
totally agree.
That's tough. That's a tough situation to be in. But if you take all those ideas and then you just do them anyways, You're bettering yourself as a creator. You're strengthening skills, and I promise you're not breaking your channel unless you're doing like something wild.
Right. I mean,
unless
be
Chris
careful
starts putting out baking videos as shorts as well, then we're gonna have something to talk about.
We're gonna have a new conversation. All right, so here's a subject from another Chris. What happened to the app? Am I crazy, or did vidIQ and others get excited that YouTube had an app called the Creator app coming out in January of 2024? No one talks about it, and I've sat waiting eagerly. It's actually called Create, YouTube Create. It does exist. It is out. You can download it. And it's like a little editor, video editor from YouTube. I've never used it, never tried it, but it is out. It is available.
Go get it.
Go get it now. All right, we're shotgunning through these. This one's from Jeremy. Hi, Jen and Travis. I'm somewhat of a new listener, but I've been loving the podcast for the last few months. I've been making YouTube videos for many years, but I've gradually discovered my niche over time. Several years ago, I started making story animations about YouTubers like The Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations. Those are great channels, by the way. When they were first starting to get really popular. There was a huge community for storytime animators, and lots of people got caught the wave of dreams becoming the next big animator. Over time, I lost interest with story time animations because all the videos started to get same old and bland. That's when I discovered a passion for making video game development vlogs, or dev vlogs. They were a lot less time consuming and connected better with the people and got way more views. My question has to do with longevity of niches. I feel like I saw a surge in interest for story time animation, but now there's not nearly as many people doing it besides really big YouTubers. It seems like the niche is almost a trend that came and went. There were some big YouTubers such as Danny who inspired many people to make dev vlogs. Now the space is much more saturated with a lot of same old styles in that niche. I feel like I'm seeing the same pattern with this niche. Do you think niches come and go? How do I stay ahead of the curve while maintaining my same target audience? Wow. Do niches come and go? Yes. Yes. And this is interesting because it's not talked about very much because those niches become very hot and then they go away. I can give you a couple of examples, and Jen, I'd love to hear some of yours. We'll probably use this for a YouTube video, so we should probably talk a little bit about this. Back in 2020, there were tons of niches that were just blowing up because everyone was home watching more content. Also, cryptocurrency was really super huge at the time.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Super huge. I had channels I was working with that were gaining like 10 to 20,000 subscribers a month out of nowhere. And there were other niches too. I mean, you can also think about fidget spinners that were super huge for a while. There was channels for that. Pop sockets.
Minimalism, when Marie Kondo came out.
Yeah.
Van life, when nobody could fly out of the country.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they die. They just do a little bit.
They're mortally, they're injured. They got a broken arm or something. Well, so some never get back to reach the heights that they once reached, right? They're never like as big as they were. But then you have these hardcore audiences that are still attached to that niche. We'll talk about that part in a minute because that's actually kind of interesting if you want to stay in that niche. So do niches come and go? I would say yes and no, in that the niches are still around generally speaking, but they're not like the big thing they once were. Like fidget spinners videos are still around. You can still find them. Beyblade videos are still around. You can still find them. They still get pretty good views and stuff, but they maybe don't have the big, massive, everyone's getting a million view type scenario that you might have seen when they first came out. Now, what's really important about this is to make sure that it's a niche that you're really interested in and you can commit to if you want to do this type of content. Once that niche starts to slow down, what you're going to see is a lot of creators that were, casually in start to drop off. So the competition gets lower. Now the competition is lower for a lower audience, but it is lower. So thinking about outside of the box of what type of content you can make that makes you stand out even more and talks more to that hardcore audience that hasn't left is how you will succeed in this. Jen, you talked about van life, which I think is really interesting because it was huge for a while. And it doesn't mean that it's gone away. It hasn't. But what have you seen in that particular niche that the people that have stayed have continued to be successful in?
I have a lot of travel creators that I work with. And it's honestly, I would give the advice or make the same observations as kind of any single space. There's always going to be some way that you can start to pivot the content. I mean, realistically, a lot of these people get a new van, redo their van, get a like an RV, start to do international travel. I mean, there is a whole space on the platform where you can reach out to people that have not yet found your channel in different ways, but still a similar audience who appreciates travel. I think this is kind of the same with other spaces. And you just have to figure out as a creator, no matter where you are, this is super just normal behavior. Same with the cosmetic space. Remember how the cosmetic space like 8 years ago was the biggest thing ever? Nobody ever had makeup videos before. And those creators have to figure out a way to continue to have a relevant audience, whether that means as you get older, targeting specifically an audience with older skin, facing specific skin issues, focusing on only specific types of products. Like, you have to push yourself as a creator to figure out what your next steps are. And then you will continue to reach a new audience. But it's difficult. I'm not going to lie, it's difficult because everybody will kind of peak on the platform at some point. It sounds really terrible to say, but you will peak and you kind of will get to a point after, maybe that's a few years in, where you're trying to figure out how to get beyond that success that you originally saw. And it's just naturally pivoting.
Yeah, and looking at other niches like the ones we spoke of specifically and finding channels that are still successful in those niches will help guide you as to what type of things you might need to do in your own niche as it starts to slow down. Again, some of these niches never really fully go away. Minecraft has gone up and down and up and down. I mean, there's been huge spikes, and then sometimes it was almost completely irrelevant, and it just kind of sticks around. But there's been creators that have stayed the entire time that have been relevant the entire time. Look at what they've done. Sometimes there's specific trends that happen within a niche or even with outside of your own niche that it's just interesting to humans in general. For example, and I say this all the time for most creators, the things like something that's expensive versus something that's cheap, whether that's relevant to your particular niche may or may not be important, but the reality is something like that is interesting to humans all the time. So look at the things that work across multiple niches all the time and figure out what that is in your particular niche.
There's also kind of the idea where I don't necessarily think that your audience just fell off all at once. Like, people just with their fidget spinners didn't all of a sudden just be like, I don't fidget anymore. I'm fine.
You don't fidget anymore? What?
I don't fidget. I'm totally fine. I am just like mindful and just peaceful. No fidgeting. What are they doing now? That's what I mean. Like, you grow with your audience as well as you grow, you reach an audience, that's kind of, you're ready for each other. Yeah. So it's constantly studying, okay, what did they replace this with? Obviously, there's going to be like far off cases where they're like, no, I don't fidget anymore. But I don't think necessarily that person replaced their fidget watching with like NASCAR or something. Like, they definitely are watching something similar in a slightly different, elevated, different direction type of way.
Maybe they're watching NASCAR with fidget spinners.
Well, then they'd still be watching the fidget spinner content.
Listen, there you go. It's just a different way to spin your niche.
Wait, but the evolution of fidget spinners, just in general, if you think about it, like came, I feel like, from tech decks. Like the tech deck audience, like, you're fidgeting with your little tech deck. Oh. And then, okay, something else I can kind of do with like the fidget spinners, but then they had like the poppets, like pads, like those. Yeah. Like, there's always something that you can kind of stay on top of, even if it's not exactly the same.
And this brings us back to a commenter who emailed us a while back where we were talking about their niche wasn't like retro video games, it was nostalgia. So the actual umbrella was larger than they originally thought. So maybe whatever your niche is slightly larger than the thing that you're currently concentrating on. And that's what you expand into. You're expanding into the rest of the actual niche when in reality you thought it was much smaller than what it is.
I just thought of like the funniest branding for like a channel like that.
What?
When you're standing in like photos and you're like, what do I do with my hands? That's like their whole value prop where it's like, what do I do with my hands? And it's just the evolution of like fidget toys.
That would be amazing. That's actually a great name for a YouTube channel. If you like the name of that channel, leave us a comment below and tell us your fidget spinner name.
Oh my God.
If you started a YouTube channel today. And we'll see you in the next one. All right, that was for the main YouTube channel. Cool. I like that. That was good. Good email. All right. Let's get this one on. This one's from Ray. Hello, Javis, Tren, Travis's chair, and Dr. Savage as he's awake. Because we're Team Tren. Remember that.
Can we get a Miss Savage in the house?
Yeah, right.
Am I not cruel enough?
We gotta get you some glasses. I actually had to order more because my other ones are broke. So I got a new thing here. Dr. Savage is gonna make his return soon enough. Don't you worry. Candy corn is the best, but Cadbury's okay if you're a boomer who can't send an email on a phone.
I already like him so much.
This is Ray.
Thank you for writing in.
Yeah, this is.
Thank you.
I'm a PhD student studying AI.
Oh, so they know what they're talking about.
Oh, they're
Travis.
smart.
They're very wise.
I hate this already. Really hating this. And my channel is about AI. I'm trying to teach scientists and business people how to use AI to compete with larger companies. I like to be straightforward and not use marketing-centric speech of OpenAI. The marketing-centric speech of OpenAI and other companies who want to sell AI products. Since my business is selling my own AI products, this might be a stranger choice, but I'm working with customers who are usually engineers. This isn't working great on YouTube. I try to tell a story with my videos while providing an honest education about AI, but the amount of time I put in my videos isn't paying out with consistent views. It seems like people want to watch either an AI doomer or AI optimist, and I'm not getting a lot of traction as an AI realist. Do you think I should pick a side of either pro AI or cautious about AI, or should I keep my stance with always an honest opinion? Interesting. So here's my thought on this, Jen, and I'd love to hear if you have a different thought on this. This is a funnel for a business. I don't care as much about large views. They're nice. I want targeted views. I want people that are going to buy my product. So in that particular case, because like I said, I think I've told this story before. I was working with a guy in the UK who did tax stuff for real estate, very specific niche. Like it's not just tax and it's not just real estate. It was like tax for real estate agents or whatever. And we worked for a couple months, only like 3 or 4 months. And he went from like averaging like 150 views to like, I don't know, 350 views within like 2.5, 3 months. So it doesn't sound like a lot. He told me he had to stop doing coaching because his business tripled and he would have to hire people. Like he didn't have enough room to take on the clients that got from, and that's my point. He didn't need 12,000 views to impact his business. He needed 200, but he needed 200 targeted views. And that's what we did. We never went Mr. Beast-ish with his type of content. We just were really authentic about the stuff he was doing and more targeted, and his business exploded. And if that's your ultimate goal, I say stay with what you're doing. You only need targeted views. You don't need big views. And don't get concerned about your channel size. There are channel sizes much smaller than the channel size that I ever had on my channel that didn't get their silver play button and made more money per month this past month than I have in the longest amount of time. So if your main thing is your business, don't worry about those chasing the views thing. We have AI Jen to answer the rest of this email.
I wish I really could pop in with like an AI sounding answer. I think that you should make it clear kind of what your stance is in general. Not that you have to be so pro or hate, but it seems like there might be a confusion to the channel overall. If someone came to your page, would they understand very quickly the type of content you're making? Do all of your titles and thumbnails suggest similar things that the same audience would be interested in? So, I mean, personally, I'm always like, take a stance. You're going to do way better primal branding long run. People coming, knowing what you stand for, and they stand with you or against you. But if that's, not the direction that you want to go in, I still would make sure that it's just very, very clear what you're doing on the channel. Very easy to understand. That would kind of just be my advice, which could go to, honestly, any channel. But that's kind of what I read from that email.
This is AI Travis, and I just want you to know one thing. Travis is always right. Thank you.
That is clearly not AI Travis because if you watch any recent AI videos, they would be able to imitate your voice identically.
Shenanigans. I just watched the Shane Dawson one and it depressed me and scared me all at the same time. I didn't even watch this part 2. I only watched part I couldn't get past. I was like, okay, I can't watch it anymore. It's too scary.
We are AI. Actually, you know what, Travis? Book my AI for next week.
Yeah, right? We might have to do that. Listen, vacation coming up. Which actually reminds me, so in the next episode, Jen won't be on. So we know in advance because she's taking a well-deserved vacation. So we'll talk at the very end about what type of fun things you might do. But so just know that in advance. And some people get upset because they love Jen, which I do too. He's a great
Aw.
co-host.
Look at Travis being nice.
Here we go. Hey, Travis, Jen, Dan, Rob, and many others from the vidIQ crew. Been a listener for a good while now. Thank you for bringing so much value each and every week. And the report between Jen and Travis is so entertaining, so keep up the good work. See? I didn't even read that before I said that. I didn't even read that before I said that. I just want to say, I knew that. I have a YouTube channel dedicated mainly to guitar effect pedals, mainly on the more affordable end of the market. I've been producing weekly content for about 5 years, and I'm around almost 10,000 subs, going in the right direction. I had a video go viral for me based on a recent suggestion in a community poll. It got 12,000 views in a month, and that's typically very good. What my very good videos do in a year. The title is 5 Shocking Budget Pedals You Need to Try. Essentially, this video is a bit like a clip show made up of small snippets of pedals I've demoed in the past. However, individual videos on these weird pedals never gain any traction. This video absolutely popped off, and it's got me baffled. Understandably, I'd like to make more videos like this so I can build up momentum for my channel at a faster pace. So I guess my question is there a way of identifying topics that will be successful that seem to contradict other trends in your channel niche that are dangers for chasing these outliers? By the way, Cadbury eggs are mid. If you want real experience, go for Cadbury mini eggs. Cadbury mini eggs, they will change your life. Okay, fine. P.S. I wrote this entire message on a phone. I feel very attacked.
Double burn for the phone users today, Travis.
I don't understand what's happening.
Wow.
I always thought I was nice to everybody.
I think I like the Cadbury mini eggs. Are those just the little chocolate ones with the shell?
Yeah, they're just smaller.
Yeah, there's no
fine.
nastiness inside.
Listen, settle down. Okay, let's see what he's saying here is essentially made like it's not a collaboration. What are those things called? When you have a whole bunch of smaller.
A compilation.
Compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a compilation video, did well.
I think he combined the perfect elements, though. He listed them to us. This is where I love about our job, where I'm like, okay, you wrote in, you told us that your audience suggested exactly what your channel is about, which is affordable pedals. And then you put a list of them together, and it went wild.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this. How do you do more affordable pedal lists? Or how do you start going off of each pedal? Where it's like, why would you need this one? 5 reasons, this one is worth I'm going to say $30 because I don't actually know what an affordable or how much any pedal costs. But keep just thinking about those concepts. Your audience stepped in because you have the right audience and you solved a problem for them or a curiosity. He's got it.
It is interesting that sometimes you don't recognize it until after someone else tells you, like, you figured it out already.
Yeah.
Yeah. You figured out the secret sauce. You asked the poll. Now, to be clear, it doesn't mean just because you put a poll out, you're always going to have bangers. But I think you had the reason why it worked is because you had an inkling. The poll kind of just confirmed that inkling. And then you went ahead and you knew that the videos themselves were interesting, even though they didn't get views. But when you put them all together, I think a lot of things start to come together from a story perspective. If you just have one pedal that's weird, that's one thing. But to have a bunch of them is kind of more interesting. And I think that's just what.
And like Travis was saying before, versus why would I buy one over the other? I feel like this is one person who is like just a couple tweaks away from really figuring it out for the time being that would genuinely benefit from a coach stepping in and being like, what we just did. Yep. You're already doing it. You just need to, fix these couple things right here and then run with it for a few months.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I read the person's name wrong, and I thought it was from Martha Stewart, but it's not.
Oh, I thought you said someone's name wrong and they wrote back in with vengeance.
No. But let me read this email. Greetings from the Upside Down, Australia. Of course, that's what I call Australia. Jen Travo in the IQ crew.
Oh.
Jen Travo's a new one. A bit of a background. I'm a new YouTuber with a statistically insignificant channel.
That is statistically insignificant.
Yeah. Focused on the love story between candy corn and new shoes. Okay, just settle down, people. That's the new shoes and the candy corn. You know how many comments we got about the episode with your ants in your pocketbook or whatever, your purse?
I assume that it's a widespread problem.
A lot of people had solutions for you. So many people had solutions for you. Like, you couldn't figure this out. They're like, look,
it better not be to take the candy out of the purse. It better be like, put like a Tide pen in your purse. They won't like it.
A tripod. Oh my god. Okay, let's get back to this. My channel started as a niche of video game tips for a specific video game, as there was no content related to it. And I've been in the developers Discord and interacting with them and the community as the game gets more updates, like in my videos. Essentially, what he's saying here is he was one of the few channels with this particular game doing content on it. I also started doing game reviews to broaden my niche and using the Outlier vidIQ tool to find video ideas for other games I enjoy playing. Totally agree with Jen. The best vidIQ feature, because remember you mentioned that was your
Hands
the one
down.
you love.
Hands down.
And this helped me make a 1 out of 10 video that outperformed my other videos tenfold in the first couple of days. The vidIQ tools really work. 4 out of my 5 videos have gotten over 1,000 views. My second ever video to hit about 10,000 views. That's fantastic.
That's
My channel-
amazing.
What's crazy about this, he's just talking about a couple of these videos have gotten over 1,000 views. And this next paragraph starting off is really crazy. My channel is now about 2 months old. That's to get several videos with over 1,000 views on a 2-month-old channel. That's incredible. I've been getting between 2 to 5 subscribers every day, and my sub count is almost at 200. To be clear, I'm doing this for fun and not for monetization. If it happens, it happens. I've been averaging a new video every 3 to 4 days until recently, when I've hit a bit of a motivational snag. I was recording gameplay footage for my latest video after getting scripting and voice acting out of the way, or voice recording out of the way. I recorded the video game footage, and through a user error, I recorded the wrong screen. My videos average 5 to 7 minutes and have been praised by my small community for being straight to the point, clear instructions. I normally spend about 3 to 4 hours setting up the game world and recording the footage I needed to get for 5 to 7 minutes. So I've lost an entire day of recording, and it's very disheartening. How do you prevent yourself from being disheartened when something goes wrong during the production process? I love making content in the community I'm building around my channel, but it's been 7 days since I last uploaded. I'm finding difficult to get past this roadblock. Okay. I like this question because I know I have specific things I can talk about, and I think you do too.
Oh,
First
yeah.
of all, let's talk about the thing that every single creator who's created for any length of time has done for sure. Either A, forgot to turn on or plug in their microphone. Mm-hmm. B, forgot to record. Mm-hmm. Or C, their video was out of focus. I've done all 3 of these, by the way. Mm-hmm. So that is very devastating, especially when you think you knock it out of the park and you're like, yeah, let me go back and watch the footage. And the footage is either messed up because there's no audio or it's out of focus.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I will say that 9 times out of 10, though, the second time I shot it, it was better. But yeah, it's a thing. Jen, what do you
tough.
do? What was the time when you recorded something you were like, I hit that out of the park, and you realized something was messed up about it? What was that? What was that all about?
I mean, which one?
I mean, just in the last week, if
Which
you have an example.
one? I mean, I'm even currently dealing with the issue of out of focus.
Oh no.
And it's terrible. I think that in a lot of situations, I was even just having this conversation with a creator last week. It's a fun opportunity to see how you can save it. They were like, they lost their audio. Mm-hmm. And they were like, should I do, some kind of voiceover? They're not really a voiceover channel. I was like, yeah, but if you're going to do a voiceover, like, have fun with it. Like, keep it your personality. And he's like, okay, then I'm going to do like a parody and like, really have fun the way that I would talk about it in like normal life or something. He's also with his friend. He's like, I think I'm also going to, make their voice, imitate them. I was like, yeah, this is like your one shot. Like the content is already like dead. I mean, you've already messed it up. It's not going to be what you want it to be. You have the opportunity to try and save it, to do something really fun. Typically, the community loves this. It's honestly because you kind of just have like no cares. Like you just have fun with it. And it can kind of be, depending on the space you're in, a funny video. Obviously, it's a learning opportunity. It's super important to get a video out and get over that hump of really messing it up like this creator's dealing with. In this instance, since the screen recording was the issue, I'm not sure creatively what options are available for this person to try to save it. Maybe there's an opportunity to cut some portions out, make a couple of shorts. I mean, to me, the fix is, doesn't matter what it is, you need to hit publish on a video and move past this. That, I think, is just like step one. If you don't hit publish on anything, it's going to be sitting there. It's going to be weighing. You're going to be really shaky about whatever you're filming next. I think you just got to, you have to officially put it behind you.
And sometimes that's hard, but it is necessary. And if you're going to be doing this for any length of time, Get used to it. Set things in place that, you'll learn this lesson once and typically not have to learn it again a lot of times, because what you'll do is you'll hit record and then you'll stop for 10 seconds. You go back, check the recording, make sure you're recording the right screen. Like, these are things you're going to learn along the way. You're very early in. You will make a ton more mistakes. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. Just learn from it. That's it. And move on. Okay, we got a couple more, almost at the end here. It's not like I'm candy corn, or am I? Does YouTube hate me? Here's my situation. Recently, I've been growing my channel with shorts. I've gone from 150 subs to over 250 in a month. Awesome, right? Previously, my long form would get 2,000 to 2,000 views with a 4% CTR and 30-second retention rate somewhere in the 60s. Now, when I do long form videos, I hardly get any impressions. My latest long form is stuck on 14 impressions after 10 days. The strange thing is I have a 21% click-through rate with only 4 views. I don't know what kind of idea the retention is. What's going on here? So, whenever we get a question like this, especially without context, it's hard to know. But the reality of YouTube is there are probably at this point millions of videos on YouTube with just 4 views or 2 views or whatever. Tons. Some with 0. Tons with 0. And a lot of times it's because when it tests across, now you said the click-through rate was high. That's fine, but that's only one indication of if a video is good. If I say, click this video and you'll win $1 million, I can get 99% click-through rate on that. But I can't tell you how to do it. I might start talking about candy corn and how terrible it is. Everyone's going to click off. That doesn't make that a good video. I get a high CTR, but that doesn't mean anything. And you said the retention, you're kind of, with 4 people, you can't really tell, right? It also might just be that YouTube doesn't know what the content's about yet, and the people that it tested against, it still can't quite figure it out because the retention was all over the place or whatever. Doesn't mean it won't ever get views. You got to remember, like, every video, even on this channel alone, started with like 2 views in the first 3 days. And everything has like hundreds of views, some with like 1,000 and many hundreds on some of these podcasts where we started from 0. So it's a YouTube thing. It's YouTube being YouTube. What do you say when you come across creators like this?
First of all, the click-through rate is high because there's not a lot of views. That is why you have a high click-through rate. If 5 people see this video and 5 people click on this, your click-through rate is through the roof. If 5 people click on this and 100,000 people have seen this, your click-through rate's looking a lot different. So these are the instances why we have to judge click-through rates as well as judge all of our analytics based off of all of the information combined. So that is absolutely something that we should clarify for anyone's listening, because high analytics don't necessarily mean high analytics. Then, like Travis said, you got to follow up with the retention. You can get anybody to click on a video. Can you get them to stay? You prioritize shorts, which, in my opinion, makes you a shorts creator at this point. I don't think you can have expectations on the platform to be both, especially as a smaller creator. If you go to anybody's channel, there is one that is dominant. And in this case, you have, shifted your channel to having shorts be the dominant traffic. You would need to continue to produce long form content as consistently to see those views go back up, because you've fallen off of people's homepage. Shorts are surfacing on short shelf, not on people's, homepage as they're scrolling. So because you're not uploading, it's not there. It's not relevant. So it makes sense that you kind of have to earn these views back through creating a regular, at a regular cadence again. So nothing sounds alarming. It was just a shift in the priority. And you could honestly expect it to go the other way if you, deprioritize shorts, and then your shorts views are probably going to go down.
Yeah, it's true. And listen, this is part of YouTube. Just keep creating. You're going to have a ton of videos that do nothing. And we're just going to be honest about it.
Yep.
You're going to have a ton of videos that don't get the views you think you should have gotten on them. 100% happens. Hi, Travis and Jen. I'm emailing from the UK. If Rob is there, tell him I'm not a huge fan of Curly Whirly. I'm all about the double decker. That sounds good, whatever that is.
Oh.
My question relates to the category for my videos as I publish them. My channel, Never Too Old to Lift, aims to inspire older adults to start resistance training. Video topics range between a theory about how to build strength, guides around adapting around common injuries, and exercise, inspiration, etc., etc. I'm never sure which category to choose when publishing videos. I feel like my videos are educational, but when I made the assumption the education category is meant for videos related to schools, colleges, and universities, so I've just tended to categorize them as entertainment for lack of better choice. Do you have any advice about which category you think my videos would fit into? So to be clear, what they're talking about is when you upload, there is an option at the bottom to categorize your videos. Not important. This is really only, and YouTube themselves tell you this is for advertising purposes really only. And even then, they don't really need that because they can figure it out through the transcript of your video. Don't worry about it. You could even put it under people and vlogs. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change, the performance of the video. vidIQ main channels under education. I forget what the boost is. I really didn't put any time into it, so I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. So don't sweat over it. It doesn't really matter. I'll see if I can find the help page, but last time I remember looking it up, they specifically said that it's just for advertising. It has nothing to do with performance of the video. You would think it would, though, but it's not.
Yeah, but people lie. This is why we're not SEO driven anymore. People just lie. My video's trending.
All right, we got your video is trending because I picked education for my video. All right, we have 3 emails left. We're going to quickly go through one of them. They want you to email. They want you to read, but I'm going to quickly do this first one first. Hi, vidIQ crew. How's it going? My name is Lawrence, aka Beard Eats World, and I've been listening to you guys for a couple months now. Love the energy you guys have on the pod. It's such a fun way to connect and learn. I'm currently obsessed with mastering YouTube and content creation. Well,
love it. Welcome.
We love that. My food is all about food around the world, food and travel. My channel was doing well at the beginning when I was posting about Vietnam because they were where my travels began. But since I began traveling and posting other countries, I noticed my views have gone down, especially when I start posting about my travels in Latin America. I fear this is because the YouTube algorithm is confused about my channel because it's all about Vietnam. Now it doesn't know who to suggest my content to. Should I be releasing content based in one country, Vietnam, because it's where I'm living at the moment with the most initial growth, for now so that YouTube knows where and how to suggest viewers? Would it not make a difference if I release content from a different country every month or so? I say this because I'm a travel channel showcasing food from around the world. I filmed in 6 different countries with loads of content from each country, which has yet been released. My team thinks this is why my growth has slowed down and that we should just focus on releasing content from one country to grow on. So basically, after that, they're just talking about their actual production schedule. Unfortunately, my impression of growth has slowed down dramatically. I don't see the same growth as when I first started. This is similar to when I helped a channel travel. Well, I guess they're like a travel channel, kind of, do content on the Philippines. Philippines is very underserved. They're a very loyal viewer base, and they come out in droves if content comes out about their country or about their culture, which is amazing. So this happened. Vietnam, no, same thing. Not a lot of content about Vietnam when you look at YouTube as a whole. So whenever something new and kind of cool comes out, they're going to come out and show out and show love. For a travel channel about different things, Jen, and you have traveled a lot. I mean, I have a kind of thought about this, but I'm curious, since you've actually traveled and stuff, what your thoughts are on this.
This is going to be a struggle for the rest of his creator's life, period. You will never have consistent views. I would look in your analytics. Most likely, like Travis is saying, your views are coming from that country. This is going to happen with India. This is going to happen with Thailand. There are really, really big countries like this. Some with Africa too, that they support that content. So I would not be surprised if almost all of your subscribers and all of your views were coming from those specific countries, and you are not reaching an audience that is curious about the actual travel and diversity of the food. So if you were targeting a US based audience that is just curious about, global food, that is going to be such a low percentage because of the way people show up for this content, and they're gonna subscribe too. They're going to subscribe because it's like the equivalent of liking your video. So you are going to get a ton of data that honestly you don't want. I've been talking the past couple weeks with different people trying to figure out ways to get around this, because it does hurt the channel when you go to the next location and then you get you go from 100,000 views to 10 views. And it realistically, that is what can happen, because all of the subscribers you just pulled in from a country that you were just in do not care about the next location you're in. They only care about their country. So there is nothing. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Basically what Jen said is correct. I don't have to add too much other than to say it's not a bad thing to get spiky views. You can find channels with millions of subscribers in the same niche, and that same exact thing happens to them. Same exact thing happens. If you're enjoying it and it's something that you like to do and you think there's value in it, put it out anyway. Don't worry about the strategy. That's just the nature of YouTube. You could create separate channels for each country. You could do that. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But it's a lot of work. So, quite frankly, I would keep them in one place and let them live. If you're more worried about having large channels and stuff and growth and stuff, then you just have to separate them out. It's just the way, it's just what it is. It is what it is. It is
Take
what
the
it
views.
is.
I mean, you get paid off the views.
Yeah.
You're going to have, countries that spike your views and you earn a bunch of money, and then you're going to have the ones that don't.
Right.
So it evens itself out.
Really does. Okay, we got 2 left. One for you to read and one, this one right here. This one's from Inert. Hi, vidIQ crew. Your podcast has me feverishly redesigning thumbnails based on what performs best.
Ooh.
Now my CTR for browse search and channel is up between 5 and 10%.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. The issue, most of my impressions are from suggested, and the CTR for that category is less than 1%. By the way, before I finish reading this,
thumbnail research. Let's go.
yeah, I mean, CTR for suggested is always going to be low, so don't worry about that. Can I optimize thumbnails and titles better for suggested video impressions? Is it a waste of time to focus on something this specific? P.S. While it pains me to betray Nintendo, I'm on Team Cream Egg. I will eat candy corn if times are desperate.
Oh my gosh. Blocked from my streams. I have not started yet.
I did a video. Did I do it? Jeez, I've done so many videos I don't remember. Where I talked about how to get in suggested. Oh, it's on the main channel. It's on the main vidIQ channel. Watch that. I think it's like how to get in suggested. And realize that suggested is binge. And binge means if you're watching one video and you're suggested another that's similar, the thumbnail should be similar to the video that you just watched. I would say don't focus so much on that, because if you're getting good browse and search traffic, you can't, they're all different things. You can't really optimize for all three at the same time, not really anyway. So whatever's working, just focus
put
on
emphasis on what you just said. That is so important. You cannot target all three of those at once.
They're just different things. So don't worry about it. It sounds like you got 3 traffic sources with 5 to 10% is
win. That's incredible.
Hold this W. Okay, last email is from Yomoshi Moshi. Do you see that? Because they say they want you to read it. You see that email? I don't know if you...
No.
You don't have that one? Let me quickly send it to you as I tell everyone what's going on for the next couple of weeks. Let's send this over to Jen. We'll do this in real time because we are that organized. So again, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to have like 1 episode a week. And then I think the last 2 weeks of the year, we probably won't have any episodes. So make sure you binge back on previous episodes. Tons of episodes out there. And we're just going to have fun. We're just having as much fun as we can, hopefully helping you guys out. If you want to join the Discord where a bunch of the listeners are, if you have Boost or 101 through vidIQ, there's a link in the description and the show notes that you can link your Discord to. Discord's a free software. And they're in there chatting, having a good old time. You got it, Jen?
I did.
Okay, let's read. Let's see you read this. Go ahead.
Hiya, Nintendo 64 and Travis. It's Yomashi again. First of all, candy corn rocks and Cadbury's are a mistake you make on Easter.
How dare you?
Ouch. After the first bite, it's far too much to handle. Candy corn for life. Anyways, since my last message, I've been hard at work making that interesting content. I started streaming classic games, building assets for longs, and over planning the future of my channel. I'm happier than ever. Oh my God, stop. I'm going to cry. I love the advice you gave me last time, and I'll definitely release edited streams later in my career as a bit of nostalgia trip for super fans. Now, I have to admit something. I've been cheating on the boost.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. I've been listening to other growth channels to learn more about YouTube streaming specifically. I think this is incredible.
Yeah, that's good.
In doing so, I've heard rumors about streaming and whether or not it's good for your channel. Many say it can mess with the algorithm and hurt the performance of main videos. Or my main videos can hurt the performance of my streams, making it super hard to reach people who regularly watch streams. So I decided to come back to the experts, all caps. See, I love it. We're like the originals. Would streaming hurt my channel in any way? Should I make a separate streaming channel for streams and VODs exclusively? One last thing. Do channel trailers do anything? Do they help? Do they get in the way of featuring a video? Or is that just statistically insignificant?
That is statistically insignificant. Yeah.
I love they also put like music emojis when they type that out. P.S. Dr. Savage needs to do a quarterly report for everyone. Jen's homework is incredible and should be a staple of every episode. Oh, good luck on your gaming career, Gentendo. When we're both famous, we can collab. I love it. Stay candy corny. What a sign off.
It. So the TLDR is can streams hurt your content, which we talked about earlier in this episode, and also we have an entire video about that exact thing. I think we just released it on the main channel. I can't even remember. There's been so many videos, Jen. Happy to hear about your successes. Basically, the answer is no, but it's rare to find any YouTube channel where the views on their regular form content and their live streams are similar. Usually one or the other is more. But to say that one hurts the other, I would disagree with. They used to. This was a thing years ago that has since been fixed many years ago, so don't worry about that. They live separately because they're two different types of viewers. Someone wants to sit there live with you and sit there for 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, 2 hours, versus a person that wants 5 minutes of a video, and that's it. Just two different viewers. Won't hurt anything. You just have different viewers. Homework. What was that homework was great. Do you remember what that was? I don't remember. That was like 3 weeks ago. I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
You gave people homework.
I can't even think of it because I'm writing out so much homework for my out of office and my creators that I'm like, I have so much homework on my mind. I'm like, what specifically did I say for that? I'm going to have to go back and listen to our episode.
Well, no. How about just give them something you're going to give one of the other creators? Just reuse it like you recycle some homework. Like what's a piece of homework you're going to give to some of your creators?
There's a lot of story work. There is like, I have like a 10, 15 YouTube video playlist to map out story structures.
Wow.
Yeah, homework, we're not playing when I'm out of office.
Well, look, it's holiday season. People would have just been getting off of Thanksgiving, but Christmas ain't too far away.
I know, it's so true. I keep saying, I'm like, it's optional, but I have so many people who are so excited for the homework. So I get why this was exciting for them to have YouTube homework. I remember the first time I had like YouTube homework for training and stuff. I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is awesome. I think that, let's see. Oh, I don't want to repeat what I did for the last homework. So this is kind of kicking me in the butt. I think viewer behavior homework is like my favorite. And I'm like, is that what we talked about last time? But
no, I doubt it.
For your viewer behavior, like you are also a consumer of YouTube. You have your telltale signs, like why you don't click on titles and thumbnails, like why you scroll past, why you abandon content. When you get bored and you start double tapping the screen, these are all things to make notes of, like watching YouTube. This is like my favorite thing to give away because you are in somebody's audience. These are the things that are preventing you from, watching all the way through their content or clicking on some of their videos. So you have an opportunity to realize what those things are. And while they all may not apply to your content and your channel and stuff, these are the things to be aware of. And when you're editing, being like, oh, I remember I didn't, like X, Y, and Z. I'm going to try not to do that in my videos. And it's totally fine if it comes from a personal place. I think we identified most people have like their avatar is them.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Exactly.
So it makes sense that like if your audience is you have the answer.
You're pretty much done. You figured it out.
Ta-da, the cheat. And now I guess if it's the same homework assignment, everyone who didn't do it, go do it again.
Exactly that. So again, as we wind down the year, we'll have a little bit less episodes per week, but there's tons to listen to. If you just now have been jumping on the boost and Tube Talk and just been hearing these last couple episodes, we've been doing this since the summertime. So you can rewind, listen to some of our older episodes and get some of the inside jokes everyone keeps emailing us about. Because I know some of you are like, I don't understand this thing about Travis and emails. And on the phone, I don't get it. Or candy corn. Why is this such a thing? We're out of October. This isn't Halloween. Or why are people still doing this? It's because it's a family of people that are creators, that are creatives, and love to troll each other every week here on the greatest podcast that's ever been created since earlier this year. So So, with that being said, we hope you all have a great rest of your week creating, and we can't wait to see what you have to say in the comments of this video and everywhere else that you reach out to us. Of course, we have that Discord, like I said earlier. Make sure you check that out. Jen, give them something to think about during this holiday season. Give them a bit of a, what is it, like a word of wisdom. What is Jen's word of wisdom for this week?
A word of wisdom. Just know your 8 of 10 may, in fact, become your 1 of 10.
That's deep.
It is deep. It's motivational. It happens a lot.
She's not wrong.
It sounds like a lie, but it's true.
It's true. Bye.